Well, Cortez was first settled by fishermen from the Carolinas, and they were attracted to this area by the abundance of marine life and fish life. In fact, this area was harvested by Cubans back in the 1700s because of the abundance of local marine life. This particular area here, too, had a good deep water channel coming in close by the shoreline. So with the easy access for the boats and the abundance of marine life, it was a great area for commercial fishing.
My grandfather, W.T. or William Thomas, my grandmother called him Will, everybody else called him Captain Billy. His brother Nate or Nathan, and he's the grandfather of the Bell boys that have the A.P. Bell Fish Company, and Sanders Fulford. The three Fulford boys, Charlie Jones, and Jim Guthrie. About that time, the land called Hunter's Point, all of that peninsula, went on the market. Back in, one of our governors, sold out Florida for 4 million acres of land for 25 cents an acre. And this particular land, all of Cortez, was owned by a man in Rhode Island, and he died. So his widow found an attorney in Palmasola to sell her property. And my grandfather heard about it. And he actually bought his tract of land before the survey was finished. So the first survey shows W.T. Fulford tract of land all the way down to the water. And each one of these people bought a huge tract of land, all that they could afford. To the north of where I'm standing is the tract of land first bought by Captain Nate Fulford. His property extended from this street to the next street down at 121st. This is 123rd. His first house is over there back of all of those palm trees, and his grandson Calvin owns this lot here where he stored seasonal nets and boats, and as he is still an active fisherman. Over here to the west is the first tract of land bought by Captain Jim Guthrie. He was the oldest of the pioneer settlers, was actually 39 years old when he came to Cortez. My grandfather was only 22. All of that land was Guthrie land. The house that we're facing here, he sold the lot to his son. This house was built in 1910, lived in by the son and wife until way up into the 70s. This is the tract of land purchased in Cortez, which was then called Hunter's Point by my grandfather, and it extended to the waterfront. We're going to walk along now, and you can see the first house that Grandpa built. When Grandpa brought Grandma Sally over here to pick out the spot where her house would be, she chose this one, the lot furthest from the waterfront, because she had been raised in North Carolina and was afraid of the storms. This house, and we're going to walk around and see it, was first one story. This is where their 9 children were all born. This is the Lewis house, and it's original. It's still with the metal roof, and the shutters make it quite unusual. All of the houses along here are contributing structures, as Cortez is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. We have 97 contributing structures. Okay, this tract of land here was bought in 1924 by Tink, the youngest son of Captain Billy and his wife Edith, and this house was built in 1924, and it is one of the best preserved houses, and all the land extends to the waterfront, and at the end of his property here you can see the historic Fulford Fish Company, which was built in 1941.